This video is titled Representing Mathematical Statements as Integers. First, let's take a look at some terms that indicate increase. Credit, gain, raise, accrue, earn, above, deposit, rise, increase. And let's also look at some terms that indicate a decrease. Debit, loss, deduct, drop, below, fall, decline, decrease. Of course, there are many others. We take a look at a number line, which you're familiar with. We see in the right side of 0 going to in the right direction, the numbers are positive, and to the left are negative. A loss of 5 points would be represented as -5, and if you graphed it on the number line, you see it there. A gain of 6 points is +6, +6, and you see it over here on the number line. If we graphed it, we would put a circle right there. Decreases are represented as negative numbers. Increases are represented as positive numbers. Let's take a look at a couple of thermometers. What do you see here? From left to right, it does appear that the temperature has increased. It is a rise in temperature of 30 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius. Celsius is on this side here, and Fahrenheit is on this side here. So as you can see by looking at the thermometer, it goes from 20, this would be 30 right here, goes from 30, and here it's at 60, so there's your rise of 30 degrees Fahrenheit. If you look at the Celsius scale, you can see that this is -5 right here, and it is now at 10. So -5 degrees Celsius plus 15 degrees Celsius equals 10 degrees Celsius. You can think of a thermometer just like you do a number line. It's just in the vertical rather than the horizontal. Let's look at these two thermometers. You see on the left-hand side you're at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. And on the right-hand side you're down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. So it is a fall in temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius, and in this case would be represented as negative number. Let's look at a simple putt-putt golf scorecard. So we have James and Sheila and Corey are playing putt-putt golf, and here you see these are the holes. And we write their scores. Par, which is the standard, which is what a regular golfer, a good golfer, somebody who's relatively good, would be able to do that in each hole. So if James gets a two strokes to get his ball in the hole on the first hole, then he's equal with par. And Sheila is over par by 2, and Corey is over par by 1. So they go along and they're hitting their balls in the different holes. They get to the end. So what do you think the negative number in the final column means? Well, James has a negative number, -3, and Corey has a -2. Usually we think of negative as a bad thing, but in this case with putt-putt golf, because par is your standard, so you're going to go above or below par. If James and Corey scored below par, then that's actually a good thing. So in this case, these negative numbers right here are actually really good. Who has the best overall score of all? Well, that would be James. Why? Because he is the greatest number under par. Remember now, the negative means under or below. Remember those words, decrease, increase? So under and below. This would be similar to saying below sea level or above sea level. If a country or a city is below sea level, it might be minus 32 meters below sea level. And that's the way it would be written. 32 meters below sea level would be minus 32 meters. Alright, if Jane borrowed $15 from Tommy, how would you represent this transaction as a number for Jane and as a number for Tommy? Well, Jane owes Tommy, but for now she increased the amount of money that she has by $15. So that's a positive 15 on Jane's side. Tommy has $15 less than he had before he loaned the money to Jane, so on his side it would be minus 15. If Trey buys a shirt from Lee's clothing store for $12, how would you represent this transaction as a number for Trey and for the clothing store? Well, it's a positive income for Lee's clothing store. They got money, so that's plus $12. Trey got a shirt, but he has $12 less than he had before he made the purchase. So on his side, it's minus $12. Mr. Zernix lost 45 pounds. He's very pleased with himself. Would his weight loss be represented as a positive or a negative number? Well, let's suppose his initial weight was 180 pounds, because we know he lost weight. He lost 45 pounds. Now the scale shows 135 pounds. Since his weight has decreased, his weight loss of 45 pounds would be represented as minus 45 pounds. Alright, that ends this brief video on representing mathematical statements as integers, whether it's a positive or a negative number, as representing the statement. Enjoy the activity.